Hi, in this episode we're going to take a look at some SDTs. Yeah, the Shape Digitizing Tools. Okay, so in this episode I'm going to use the Advanced Digitizing panel as well as some of the Advanced Digitizing tools that I used in a previous video. And let's see, is it up there? I'll leave a link to that episode there. So if you don't fully understand the shortcuts and what I'm doing, you can check that video out and you'll get probably a bit more in-depth explanation on those tools. I will mostly focus on this toolbox right here. That is the, let's see if I can get the marker correct, the Shape Digitizing toolbar. I'm not going to go in depth with it, but I'm going to use it. And I'm going to do some edits in the context of buildings and building outlines. So I have created a simple polygon layer here. And if I use the Advanced Digitizing toolbar and create a point, let's start here, and I press A to set an angle to draw with, and let's put that at -25 degrees to lock it. And the first side of the building should be, let's say, 45 meters, 45, like that. And then I just need to confirm that location with a left mouse click. One thing that is new in QGIS 3.4 is that now I can set more default angles that this tool will snap to, but I will leave it at 90 degrees. So right there, and the other side of this building should be, let's say, 20 meters. So D for 20 meters and confirm that like that. And then we'll go back this 45 meters. So D again, 45, and confirm. And close the edit of this polygon with a right click, like that. Before I go on, I will add a styling to this layer. So let's paste that style like that. And this will help me with some measurements and areas and so on. If you want this styling, I can also leave a link in the description of this video, both to this style and to the style that influenced this style. So you have some options to use. Okay. With this method, you can traverse the sides of a building and create really complex shapes. So if you have a drawing or you collect measurements in the field, you can use your notes or the drawing to recreate the buildings in your map. However, there is now a quicker way to draw regular polygons, and that is this what was it called, Shape Digitizing toolbar. Here we have circular strings. I will not use those, but those are nice to create curves. You can create circles in different ways. I won't be using that either. And ellipses. I will be using squares, but let's take a look at the regular polygons first. So you can do this by adding 2 points, and that works like this, where the first point is one corner of the regular polygon, and the second point is another corner. And the number of sides, not sure if you can see it, but if I move that in a bit, you can see there's dialog here that you can set the number of sides, everything from 3 to, well, as many as you would want, basically. But let's use 6 for now. So that is one way to create polygons. Let's remove that. Another way is to use from center and to a point. So we select our polygon center, and then we draw our distance. Was it to a point? Center to a point. That's weird, because I definitely think that that is a side. So this may be a bug. Anyway, you can set a distance to the side in this case, using the advanced digitizing panel if you want. Let's make that side well, 6 meters. And right click to close it. Okay. The other option was add regular polygon from center to a corner. Let's see what that does right now. Okay. That did what I expected. Did I read it wrong? Okay. It says a point, but that is a point on the side. So it seems to be correct. Anyway, I won't be using those regular polygons either. So let's clear those. Okay, rectangulars. Add rectangle from center and a point. This is, for my purposes in this example, pretty useless, but you never know. One click with the left mouse button at the center, and then a second click with the right mouse button. That creates your polygon. More useful is add rectangle from extent, where you set a starting point and then an end point. I'm not going to use that either. The most useful one for this purposes is the add rectangle from 3 points. Then you can make a starting point, select the angle, and then how big is the building, and with a right click, like that. And you can use this in combination with the advanced digitizing panels. So let's say I want to create another building next to this one in this direction. And it should be 50 meters from it, but aligned with it. So let's go into construction mode. First, we need to create a polygon, go to construction mode, start there, and move parallel with this line to a distance of 50 meters. Jump out of construction mode and add the first node. And we will continue this direction at 45 meters. Lock in 45. Confirm location with left click. I jumped out of it. Let's start over. construction mode, polygon. I need to get back to polygon later. So there, parallel with this one at a distance of 50. And now you get out of construction mode, confirm, continue at a distance of 45, confirm, and set the width in that direction. I'm not sure, but I think this is important. If I do this at an angle like this, the distance is not 20. So let's say distance 20. This will probably be... Well, let's see what happens. I end this with a right click. No, it worked. So should be okay then. Okay, then we have two identical building polygons at the distance I wanted between them. So let's measure that. Yep, 50.02, almost. I'm not sure why it was almost. But we'll try that again. This time an identical building in this direction, 40 meters apart. So we'll go to construction mode, start there, move parallel to this line, 40 meters, jump out of construction mode, starting point, go a distance of 45, confirm, and then go a distance of 20 and confirm. Let's measure that to see what the distance was. 40.016. Not sure why exactly it isn't exactly right. So I will just, for now, create a new polygon. Snap to that corner, snap to that corner. And that gives me the correct measurements. So, not sure what happened. I'm guessing it's not a problem with the digitizing tools. It's possibly a problem with the measuring tool. Okay, now we have three buildings. And let's say one of the owners here want to add a porch on this facade. That can be a bit tricky, but I've found a few workarounds. So I'll try to create a porch. It should be 5 meters wide, and it should be 20 meters from each of the sides of the building here. So let's try that. And the way I'm doing this is by going into the Vertex tool, which makes it possible to add vertices on the lines. So let's add a vertex right there. And I want to place this, well, in the vicinity of where it should be. So let's go there, close. And then another one about there. I could do the next steps in a few different ways, but let's start by placing these points at the correct location. So this point right here, let's go back. I'm going to move this node and it needs to go in this direction 71 centimeters. So select it and I want to move it at a distance of 0.71. Confirm. Then we are 20 meters. This one should go in the opposite direction, 11 centimeters. Select it, move a distance of 0.11, confirm. There we have my porch. The next step will be to move this porch out. But first I will actually add a midpoint here and you'll understand a bit later. So I'll just click there and place it more or less anywhere along this line. And the same on the other side. Then I want to move this segment out, but it's hard to move segments to the correct location. It's easier to move points, and I can do that by selecting those 2 points, and then when I move one of them, the other one will follow. So I select one of them and I want to move perpendicular to the facade. So let's go to perpendicular to this. And how far out should it go? 4 meters? Let's say distance of 4. And confirm. Next, I want to move these points back to the corner, and that is so it gets a distance of 20, and that is 511. So move that parallel to this line in that direction at 5 meters 11 and confirm. Move this point 1377, that is 623. Should go parallel to that line at a distance of 623. Confirm. There we go. One porch. So it is a bit cumbersome to edit these polygons, but it is possible if you just think ahead of what you want to do. So let's take another example, this one. He wants to add an extension to the house. It is at a point. It should be 15 meters exactly from this side. So this point should we add 45, distance 0.45, confirm. No, 15. Well, let it be 16. And then I want to move it out in this direction. So select those 2 points and move them in parallel to that line. And let's say 15 meters. Distance 15. Confirm. Need to add a point right here. And here's a tricky situation. I didn't think ahead. I need to place that at right angles. So I actually need to start somewhere, and that is the tricky part. So I can place it at the same location as another vertex, right here. And you see it is indicated by the green cross that there are multiple vertices at the same point. And then I could pick it up, and I see that I picked up the wrong point. It is nigh impossible to pick up the right one. So the only way that I've found is to just move it. If you pick up the wrong one, move it along the line, anywhere really, as long as you remember it was 20 meters, like that. Then you can pick up the right one and move that perpendicular to any of the lines, like that. And it should be, what was it, 1629, I guess. Distance 29. Let's try it. Like that. And then I need to move this point back to a side that is 20 meters. So parallel with that line and adding 658. Oh, I need to add D, 658. Like that. And it's times like this I'm really happy I don't work in imperial measurements. Metric is much preferred. Anyway, I think that was all I wanted to show you. I have been playing around with a lot of these tools in the advanced toolbar and so on, like rotating. To rotate a polygon. I'm not really happy with how it rotates only around the center, but you can work around that as well. For instance, by adding some extra layers, like extra, just a point layer, for instance. And measure? No, I don't want to measure. I want to create points. Now I need to change my snapping to all layers, and I'll snap to that corner to anchor it somewhere and add a point like that. And I want to rotate the building around that point, so that will be my anchor point for the rotation of the building. Then I switch back to the building layers. I know that it should be rotated, let's say 10 degrees, counterclockwise. So buildings, rotate that. Whoops. And in that direction, that should be -5, like that. And then I can just select all the points, going to the Vertex tool, select all the points, not from that layer. Can I remove that? Or I could stop edit that layer, for instance. Yeah. Like that. Buildings, edit vertices, select those, pick it up, and then snap to the point. Need to zoom in like that. Then that point is still at the correct location and the building is slightly rotated. So if I use the somewhat incorrect measuring tool and measure from that corner to that corner, it is still roughly 40 meters. But any inaccuracies, I think, is a problem for the measuring tool. Okay, was that everything I wanted to do? I think so. So use the tools, play around a bit, and get comfortable with what you can do with them, because the tools in themselves are pretty straightforward, but you can combine them. The advanced toolbar, is it called advanced toolbar? Advanced digitizing toolbar, the snapping toolbar, and the shape digitizing toolbar. Together with the advanced digitizing panel, you can do a lot of advanced editing. And if you want my styling here, I leave links to several resources where you can get similar styles like this. And it helps me when I edit polygons like this. So I'll see you next time.